Hello and welcome to Kalkine TV. James Preston with you for News Beyond Markets, a special program that brings you the latest news from Australia and abroad to provide you with the understanding of the situation the market is operating within. Let's first start with a look at Australia's current COVID situation. Victoria reported 13 locally acquired COVID-19 cases, and of the new cases, 12 have been linked to the current outbreak, while one is under investigation. Victorian authorities said that a 5-day snap lockdown imposed to slow the spread of the highly infectious Delta variant would now be extended beyond Tuesday. Meanwhile, New South Wales has reported 78 new COVID-19 cases. The number of cases in Sydney's latest outbreak has now crossed the 1,400 threshold. South Australia will also enter a 7-day statewide lockdown from 6 p.m. tonight. A fifth COVID-19 case in South Australia has raised concern for many after a man in his 60s attended a birthday party on Saturday night, which has prompted a statewide lockdown. South Australian Premier Stephen Marshall said that people in the state will be able to access the same support packages and payments as New South Wales and Victoria. From the virus to market news, and buy now, pay later giant Afterpay is set to widen its offerings beyond the buy now, pay later services space. Afterpay will now launch its banking app in October. As competition intensifies in the buy now, pay later sector, Afterpay is moving towards banking for its 3.5 million plus Australian users. The move by Afterpay into banking will test the reach of its relationship with users. During the pandemic, the company saw more people shifting to the buy now, pay later platform than ever before. Afterpay hopes those same users will now be willing to deposit their salaries into saving accounts to attempt to earn interest of around 1% a year. Afterpay's foray into banking will be created in partnership with Australia's number 2 lender, Westpac. The new app, called Money by Afterpay, is now being tested by the company's Australian staff. The company said it has secured a financial service licence to provide debit cards and general financial product advice as well. And the app will also allow Afterpay users to set savings goals with up to 15 separate accounts designed to offer greater money management tools into the user's hands. With the buy now, pay later sector's rapid growth over the past year, bigger companies are now looking for a piece of the pie. PayPal Holdings is looking to challenge Afterpay's dominance in Australia, while the Commonwealth Bank will soon launch its own buy now, pay later service. Apple is also working on its own offering, with more details set to be unveiled in the coming days. But for the meantime, Afterpay will launch the app only in Australia, where buy now, pay later adoption is higher than the rest of the world, with around 30% of adults having a buy now, pay later account. So the buzzing buy now, pay later sector will definitely create more innovation in terms of new and competitive offerings for their customers going forward. And on that note, it's time for a very short break on Kalkine TV. And in just a moment, we continue with news beyond the markets and a special update from the property space.
Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the crypto craze has reached,
where the property market is headed next,
what the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly,
apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
with Kalkine TV.
Welcome back to Kalkine TV, and if you're just joining us, it's great to have your company. This is the News Beyond Markets program, and it's time to dive into the property market. New insights into the sector are finding that across the country, luxury multi-million-dollar properties are being left unsold for months at a time. Melbourne, one of the country's hottest property markets, is somewhat bucking the trend, with CoreLogic figures identifying a median sell time of just 30 days, whilst in regional Victoria, homes are selling even faster, with a median of just 28 days on the market in regional Victoria itself. The data aside, there are reports that some luxury homes with price tags ranging between $5 million all the way up to $10 million are sitting unsold for many months at a time. The property market is witnessing pressures from the construction side as well. Sydney builders and developers are urging the New South Wales government not to extend the ban on construction sites past the current deadline of July 30. This comes amidst reports from the likes of the Daily Telegraph and Sydney Morning Herald that tradies in their thousands have been leaving Greater Sydney and temporarily relocating to regional areas in order to obtain work following the crackdown on the construction space, which of course in turn has the potential to further spread COVID and decimate Greater Sydney's economic recovery. And just before we go to another quick break on the rental front, it's a general rule that rental prices have been soaring across the country over the past 5 years, but there are spots in most capital cities where rental prices have actually fallen since 2016. According to the latest quarterly Domain Rent report, there were some suburbs in Darwin where unit rentals fell substantially. In Rapid Creek, for example, rents fell by 16.7% to $127 a week. Darwin's CBD, they fell by 13.6% to $475, and both Linier and Marara fell by 12.5% to $350 each. The city's next biggest house rent fall compared to 2016 was in Nightcliff in the north, where rents fell by 15% to $510 a week. And Malak was also close behind with a fall of 13.6% to $455 as a median price per week. And now it's time for a quick break, and after these messages, a special insight into the potential for travel in a post-vaccine future on Kalkine TV.
Tune in to stay updated while on the move.
We will tell you where the crypto craze has reached,
Where the property market is headed next.
what the world is doing to become more environmentally friendly.
Apart from tracking the daily market charter.
Be on top of the latest news and announcements
With Kalkine TV.
Great to have your company on Kalkine TV. I'm James Preston and you're watching News Beyond the Markets live from Sydney. And if you've been hesitant to get one of the COVID vaccines, then the potential to travel may well help to change your mind. Recently, the World Health Organization said that countries should recognise any vaccine that has been authorised for emergency use for COVID-19 and then consider opening their borders to inoculated travellers. The WHO has already advocated for the travellers inoculated with the Pfizer-BioNTech, Moderna, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson vaccines, and the WHO is now also giving the green light to the 2 Chinese jabs made by Sinovac and also Sinopharm. Back in May, in an attempt to restore travel across Europe, the European Union stated it would only recognise people as vaccinated if they had received shots licensed by the European Medicines Agency. Although it's up to individual countries that wish to take travellers who have received other vaccines, including Russia's Sputnik V, many Western countries have primarily relied on vaccines made in the US and Europe, such as Pfizer-BioNTech and also AstraZeneca. However, many developing countries have used Chinese-made shots. Officially recognised vaccines for Canada, Europe, Thailand, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia include the Pfizer-BioNTech, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson vaccines, and also for Thailand and Europe, Sinovac and Sinopharm are additionally utilised, with Europe then also allowing for Covishield to also be recognised. Qatar has allowed for the standard vaccine coverage, with Sinopharm only conditionally approved in addition to AstraZeneca, Moderna and the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines. In Qatar, visitors can enter but will have to undergo an RT-PCR test and quarantine for all other vaccines. These are just a few of the countries which require certain vaccine brands for now, and many countries have the usual protocols of negative COVID-19 test results and also a quarantine period if you do wish to travel. So that is all the latest updates I've got for you for News Beyond the Markets. Stay tuned though for more live market news and economic updates right here on Kalkine TV. I'm James Preston.